Namaskar, good evening. You are watching Rajya Sabha Television. I'm Smriti Rastogi with News Tonight. Let's begin the bulletin with the top headlines. Cabinet reshuffle in Goa. Chief Minister Pramod Sawant inducts 4 MLAs into ministry. New entrants include Michael Lobo, who quits as Deputy Assembly Speaker, and 3 of the 10 Congress defectors. Chandrakant Kavalekar made Deputy Chief Minister. Five more Karnataka rebel MLAs move Supreme Court against Speaker. Number of legislators seeking action on their resignations now reaches 15. JDS-Congress coalition confine MLAs to resorts in Mumbai and Bengaluru to prevent defections. Our languages must unite us for inclusive development, says Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, underscores need for mother tongue instruction in primary education, calls for multi-pronged approach for preservation of Indian languages. Rains cause heavy destruction in east and northeastern parts of the country. Floods and landslides displace over 14 lakh people in 25 districts of Assam. Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh also bear brunt of the rain fury. And India and Pakistan delegations to meet at Attari-Wagah border tomorrow to discuss Kartarpur corridor issue. Talks agenda to include connectivity at 0 point, number of pilgrims and travel documents to be allowed. Our top focus this evening, Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant reshuffled his cabinet on Saturday, dropping 3 members of Ally, Goa Forward Party and an independent legislator as ministers. They include Deputy Chief Minister Vijay Sardesai, Water Resources Minister Vinod Palekar and Rural Development Minister Jayesh Salgaonkar. Independent MLA and Revenue Minister Rohan Kaunte has also been dropped from the cabinet. The move comes just days after 10 Congress MLAs in Goa joined the BJP, increasing the strength of the party to 27 in 40-member House. Michael Lobo, who resigned as the Deputy Speaker of the Goa Legislative Assembly, and 3 of the 10 MLAs who joined the BJP, Chandrakant Kavalekar, Jennifer Montserrat and Philip Neri Rodriguez, were sworn in as the new ministers. Goa Governor Mridula Sinha administered the oath of office and secrecy to the new ministers at a ceremony held at Raj Bhavan on Saturday noon. And a day after Karnataka Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy made a surprise announcement in the Assembly that he would seek a trust vote, efforts have intensified to reach out to the dissident legislators by the leaders of the ruling coalition. In a bid to keep the MLAs together and safe from poaching, BJP, Congress and JDS MLAs have been kept in different resorts near Bengaluru. BJP leader and former Chief Minister B.S. Yedurappa has said that it was better for Kumaraswamy to resign and allow a new government to take over to work for the people of the state since he has lost the majority. However, Congress claims that H.D. Kumaraswamy government has the majority.
But we have the strength to win the vote of confidence. That's the only thing I can tell you. That's why we have asked for vote of confidence.
Let us wait up to Monday. If he is going to move confidence motion, we have no objection. We will wait up to Monday. I think when you don't have majority, better you must resign.
As the Congress intensified efforts to woo back its disgruntled MLAs in Karnataka, one of them hinted that he might consider withdrawing his resignation and also said that he would try to persuade others. State Housing Minister and Hoskote MLA MTB Nagaraj, one of the 16 rebel Congress JDS MLAs who resigned from the assembly last week, dealing a blow to the coalition government, said that senior Congress leaders, including former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, met him and asked him to withdraw his resignation.
So today, I think till from midnight to 1 o'clock, all of us were here to meet my friend and our colleague, Mr. MTB Nagaraj, a very senior leader. He is a loyal, sincere congressman who has stood by the party in all crises. Today we are very happy. He has assured us he will be with us. He will take up the responsibility, convincing the other legislators also.
Meanwhile, 5 more rebel Congress MLAs from Karnataka moved the Supreme Court on Saturday against the Assembly Speaker not accepting their resignation. They have sought impleadment in the already pending application filed by the 10 other rebel MLAs, on which the hearing is scheduled for Tuesday. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that language and culture are interconnected and need to be preserved together. He said that after releasing a souvenir commemorating the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the Central Institute of Indian Languages at Mysuru in Karnataka on Saturday. The Vice President added that in India, some languages are forgotten and time has come that forgotten languages of India should be revived, encouraged, and appreciated.
In India, you have too many languages, and some languages are dying. Some languages are being forgotten. Its time has come that we should see to it that all those languages are revived, encouraged, appreciated, and then people of that language, of that region, they'll be able to feel happy, proud of speaking and knowing their own mother tongue. Because language and culture, they go together. भाषा और भावना एक साथ चलता है. आप अपना मातृभाषा में अपना भावना को अभिव्यक्ति करना आसान है. You'll be able to articulate better in your mother tongue. And moreover, language and culture, they are interconnected. So they need to be preserved together. That is the importance.
And earlier in the day, the Vice President also laid the foundation stone for Dr. S. Radhakrishnan Auditorium at Regional Institute of Education in Mysore. Addressing the gathering, he said that Indian education system is passing through a critical phase today as we strive towards quality and equity for all the era of globalization. He added, the goal of education is not merely to get employment, rather it should lead to enlightenment and empowerment of the individual by fostering humane qualities.
So the Indian education system definitely made huge progress, particularly in school, teacher and higher education. The enrollment rates have increased significantly. The infrastructure facilities have improved tremendously. And now it is time for us to focus on educational transaction that happens within the classroom. The expectations are immense from the teaching community to not only maintain high standards of teaching, but also impart right values and mold students into responsible and socially conscious citizens.
And Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, union ministers and members of parliament participated in the Swachhata Abhiyan in Parliament House today. Speaking at the event, Om Birla said that MPs who are elected representatives of the India people are committed for a clean India. Union ministers Rajnath Singh, Harshvardhan and Anurag Thakur were also present at the event.
और आज ये संसद परिसर का स्वच्छता अभियान नहीं है। बापूजी के 150वीं जयंती पर हम सब माननीय लोकसभा के सांसद जो 130 करोड़ जनता का जनप्रतिनिधित्व करते हैं, हम इस संकल्प के साथ जो हमारे सदन के नेता माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने भी आह्वान किया था लाल किले से कि इस देश को, हर गांव को, शहर को स्वच्छ बनाना है। हम सभी माननीय सांसद मिलकर इस संकल्प के साथ कि इस देश को स्वच्छ बनाना हम सबका दायित्व है।
मैं तो इसलिए खड़ा हुआ हूं कि हमारे लोकसभा अध्यक्ष महोदय ने पहली बार भारत की संसद में सदस्यता अभियान का यह शुभारंभ किया है। हम सब लोग उनको बधाई देते हैं, हार्दिक बधाई देते हैं। जहां तक स्वच्छता अभियान का प्रश्न है, आप सभी जानते हैं यह स्वच्छता अभियान भारत में एक जन आंदोलन बन चुका है और जन सामान्य के अंदर स्वच्छता को लेकर एक जागरूकता पैदा हुई है। स्वच्छता से क्या क्या लाभ होते हैं, पर्यावरण का कैसे शुद्धिकरण होता है, स्वास्थ्य की दृष्टि से इसके क्या लाभ हैं, इस संबंध में भी काफ़ी हद तक जागरूकता पैदा हो गई है। और इसी बात को ध्यान में रखकर हमारे लोकसभा अध्यक्ष माननीय ओम बिरला जी ने भी इस पार्लियामेंट के अंदर इस स्वच्छता अभियान करने का यह फैसला किया है और उनके द्वारा ये जो पहल की गई है उसकी जितनी भी सराहना की जाए वह कम है।
सभी सांसदों को जोड़कर, कर्मचारी अधिकारियों को जोड़कर संसद भवन से ये कार्य शुरू किया है, जहां 130 करोड़ भारतीयों के प्रतिनिधि इकट्ठे होकर आते हैं। ये बड़ा संदेश है, महात्मा गांधी जी की 150वीं जयंती के अवसर पर है। देश को गंदगी मुक्त करना, बीमारी मुक्त करना, स्वच्छ और सुंदर भारत का निर्माण करना, इस दिशा में हम आगे बढ़े हैं। मैं उनका बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं।
मिलकर यहाँ पर सफाई अभियान कर रहे हैं, इससे पूरा देश में एक अच्छा सा संदेश जाएगा। मैं भी मेरे मथुरा क्षेत्र में भी कई बार किया है, पर ये वापस भी मैं भी जाकर वहाँ पर अगले हफ्ते में जाकर ये पूरा अभियान करती रहूँगी वहाँ।
And 7 members from the Rajya Sabha have been elected to the Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament. The MPs include Rajiv Chandrasekhar, M.V. Rajiv Gowda, Naresh Gujral, Bhuvneshwar Kalita, C.M. Ramesh, Sukhendu Shekhar Roy and Bhupendra Yadav. All MPs were elected unopposed on the last day of withdrawal of nominations. From the Lok Sabha, 15 members were elected to the PAC. They include Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, T.R. Balu, Subhash Chandra Baheria, Bhartrihari Mehtab, Jagdambika Pal, Jayant Sinha, among others. The committee will function till 30th April 2020. The Public Accounts Committee is the most important parliamentary committee. It is tasked with auditing the revenue and the expenditure of the government. For the Parliamentary Committee on the Welfare of SCs and STs, 10 members from the Rajya Sabha have been elected. 20 members from the Lok Sabha have been elected to the committee. Members have also been elected from the Lok Sabha for the Committee on Public Undertakings and the Committee on Welfare of Other Backward Classes. The Rajya Sabha announced schedule for election of 34 members to 4 parliamentary committees on 3rd July. The date of withdrawal of nominations for the Committee on Public Undertakings and Committee on Welfare for OBCs has been extended till 15th of July. And Army Chief General Bipin Rawat on Saturday said that there has been no intrusion by the Chinese in Ladakh's Demchok sector. His statement comes amidst report of Chinese soldiers crossing the line of actual control last week. The Army Chief said that both sides have different perspectives on the line of actual control. He added that the matter was also raised in the flag meetings between the security officials of the two countries.
Historically burdened by its own inadequacies, internal security and governance issues, Pakistan Army time and again resorts to misadventures, either through the flawed and bloody proxy war and state-sponsored terrorism or intrusions in our country. The Indian Armed Forces stand resolute and ready to defend our territorial integrity, and let there be no doubt that any misadventure will be repelled with a very punitive response.
And time for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay with us.
Which article defines qualification for the membership of Rajya Sabha? Article 84 of the Constitution lays down the qualifications for the membership of the Rajya Sabha.
Enter the majestic forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan and you'll come across the Jaipur column. A gift to the Viceroy from Savai Madho Singh, the Maharaja of Jaipur, to commemorate the creation of the new capital. The 145-meter high column is crowned with 6 pointed crystal stars on a bronze lotus, and inside the stone shaft runs a steel tube which weighs a little more than 5 tons. The base of the column has text conceived by Lord Irwin and Sir Edwin Lutyens inscribed on it.
गुफ्तगू में मिलिए योगा ट्रेनर और डांसर आद्या शर्मा से रविवार रात 10:30 बजे सिर्फ राज्यसभा टीवी पर।
On how many occasions motion of thanks was amended in Rajya Sabha? The motion of thanks on the President's address in Rajya Sabha has been amended thrice, in 1980, 1989 and on 12th March 2001.
Welcome back. Minister of State Anurag Thakur addressed CPAI's 7th International Convention on Building Indian Commodity Market for Job Creation and Sustainable Development Goals on Saturday. Speaking at the event, he said that the government is committed to take more steps to make the markets stronger to enable India become $5 trillion economy as well as create millions of jobs. He also said that the centre was open to have a look into the CPAI's demand for reduction in commodity transaction tax.
Keeping up on its commitments, this government has also ensured removal of all restrictions on stockbrokers dealing in securities to deal in commodities and vice versa, which is expected to enhance the accessibility of the markets to the retail participants. Implementations of GST will provide a further thrust to the commodities market by making physically delivered commodities move faster across states.
And some more developments. The government on Saturday launched an open defecation-free plus vision document envisaging solid waste management in villages along with the collection of transportation of biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. The ODF Plus is an extension of the ODF program under the Swachh Bharat mission. Its objective is to sustain the ODF program and to take up solid and liquid waste management. Minister of State for Jal Shakti, Ratan Lal Kataria, on Saturday released a way forward document on the ODF Plus program. At the event, an ODF Plus dashboard and a mobile application, Swachh Gram Darpan app, were also launched. The app allows people to monitor how the program is working at district and state levels. Emphasis on water conservation was also made in the program.
हिंदुस्तान के सभी सरपंचिस को भी चिट्ठी जो है आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जल संचय को लेकर लिखी है और मंत्रालय भी दिन रात उसके ऊपर जो है मेहनत कर रहा है कि पानी के संचय के डिफरेंट मोड्स को अपनाकर किस तरह से हम पानी का एकत्रीकरण कर सकते हैं, किस तरह से हम पानी को बचा सकते हैं, किस तरह से हम पानी का जो वेस्ट गया है उसका रीयूज कर सकते हैं.
And with the monsoon rains having covered almost all part of the country now, there is a good news for the farmers. The Met Department has said that India's expected rain deficit of 44% has now reduced substantially to a deficit of just 12% in the month of July. Astha Kulshresht brings us this report.
India's rain deficit reduced substantially in July with the progress of monsoon. According to the India Meteorological Department, what had been a worrying shortfall of 44% at the end of June is now only 12%.
As on yesterday, still yesterday, the rainfall activity is considered. The departure from normal is about minus 12%. So we can see that as compared to even it has gone up to minus 45 sometime now in the June because of delay in monsoon. So that has very much that has come picked up, and it is now only minus 12%.
The highest rain deficit of up to 60% is being experienced in Marathwada and Vidarbha, while the southern peninsula has a deficit of 28%. This region includes Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Rayalaseema, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana.
The south peninsula is now having the maximum deficiency. It is minus 28% at present. Central India was also having very large deficiency, but now because of the good rainfall activity which was going on, due to that the deficiency it is now only minus 4% from the normal. Northwest India, that will cover even Delhi and all, it is minus 8%, whereas East and Northeast India now it is minus 14%.
The late monsoon has been the primary cause for deficit this year. While Delhi normally receives monsoon by the 25th of June, this year initial showers were seen on the 5th of July, but since then there has been no rainfall.
If we talk about the onset over Delhi, it has happened on 5th July. But afterwards we were not getting much rainfall activity over Delhi, and now also we are getting some isolated rain activity, but it is mostly confined to the northern parts of Haryana. It is not giving much weather over Delhi. Due to that, in between temperature also has picked up, but and now also it is in the range of 38, 39 it is going on.
Heavy rains and thunder showers have been experienced at most places over Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Sub-Himalayan West Bengal and Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam and Meghalaya, Nagaland and Manipur. Astha Kulshresht, Rajya Sabha TV.
Weather news now. Heavy rains worsened the flood situation in Assam on Saturday, with the death toll rising to 7, while northern parts of the country received light to moderate showers. The deluge was affected over 14 lakh people across 25 districts of the state. Barpeta is the worst hit, with 5.22 lakh people affected, followed by 1.38 lakh in Dhemaji and 95,000 in Moregaon. 2,168 villages are under water and 51,752 hectares of crop area has been damaged. The National Disaster Response Force and the State Disaster Response Force have rescued 848 persons in the last 24 hours across the state. Authorities are running 234 relief camps and distribution centers in 21 districts, whereas 20,047 people have sought refuge. And flash floods and landslides in Nepal triggered by monsoon rains have killed 28 people, while other 16 have been missing. Heavy rains since Thursday have hit several districts in Nepal, especially in the country's eastern region and the southern plains. At least 10 persons sustained injuries and 16 others went missing in various landslides and flood incidents in the country since Friday. While a total of 50 persons were rescued, rain-fed rivers have also started to erode, putting high risk of flooding. Deaths were reported from various districts, including Lalitpur, Kavre, Kotang, Bhojpur, among others. It is estimated that around 6,000 people have been badly affected by floodwaters that inundated their houses. Delegates from India and Pakistan will meet on Sunday to discuss modalities of the Kartarpur corridor. The meeting will take place at the Attari-Wagha border on the Pakistani side. In the meeting, India will raise key issues like connectivity at 0 point and the number of pilgrims to be allowed through the Kartarpur corridor. India will also flag its concerns over the security aspect. The work has been planned to be completed by October 31st before the commemoration of 550th birth anniversary of Guru Nanak in November. In November 2018, India and Pakistan agreed to set up the border crossing linking Gurudwara Darbar Sahib in Kartarpur, the final resting place of Guru Nanak, to Dera Baba Nanak in Punjab's Gurdaspur district. And that's all we have for you in this edition of News Tonight. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.